on that. I'd like to begin at this time. We're all assembled here, and I just want to take an opportunity, first of all, to say this is a day about Larry Jupin, and we're here to talk about Jupin's Law. And I want to thank every one of you for being here today. The weather forecasters were right. We were going to get a pleasant day to be here, and it's nice to see they were correct. So I'm honored today to be joined by so many people that have played an important part in this day. And I just would like to take a quick moment to introduce some of those folks you're going to be hearing from today. First, my Senate colleague Jennifer Flanagan is here today. District Attorney Joseph Burley is here today. Chief Salem Albert from the Westminster Police Department and the Central Mass Police Association President is here today, as well as the partner of Larry Jupin, Detective Ralph LeBlanc is here today, and Hugh Cameron, the President of the Mass Coalition of Police, is here today. And we're joined by many members of the Central Mass Police Association, police chiefs, and various members of the different police departments who support this bill and this effort we're trying to do. So thank you for being here, and thank all of you for being here to join us as well. Today is an important day for the community of Westminster and also for the people of Massachusetts. Today we begin the conversation to change the insanity laws in Massachusetts. Officer Larry Jupin was shot 3 times in 1999. He passed away as a result of those injuries in 2002. And it was on September 1st of this year, 2009, that the assailant, Jason Rivers, was found not guilty by reason of insanity. Officer Jupin had passed away, and his assailant was found not guilty by reason of insanity. He is currently serving in Bridgewater State Hospital. An individual who commits murder can be found not guilty by reason of insanity in Massachusetts at this time. They will have no criminal record. They will be sent to Bridgewater State Hospital, and after 6 months, their sentence and their condition, mental condition, will be reviewed. And after that time, and annually thereafter, they will be evaluated to determine whether or not they're still a risk to society and a risk to an individual. If they're found no longer to be a risk, they can be set free. An individual who commits murder in Massachusetts can walk out of prison with no criminal record, theoretically in as little time as 6 months or a few short years of incarceration. I would like to have the individuals I mentioned earlier say a few words to you regarding this particular bill as well, and after that we'll be more than happy to take questions. At this time I'm honored to say I'm serving in this House of Representatives with my Senator Jennifer Flanagan. She serves the people of Westminster and the North Worcester County. She's been a great help in this legislation. We've discussed this at length with her staff, and the community. And I would like to offer Jennifer Flanagan now to come say a few words regarding Jupin's Law. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Representative. I want to thank everyone for being here today, especially the law enforcement personnel. As Representative Evangelidis said, that we had a very traumatic incident happen in our district. And what comes from that, sometimes tragedy, is a change in the laws. As the chairman of the Mental Health and Substance Abuse Committee, I'm looking to engage those that are protecting the consumers of mental illness. But the conversation must happen. We must start to look at when people commit murder in the state of Massachusetts. We must look at what the ramifications are, what those punishments are, and more importantly, what we can do to protect citizens across the state of Massachusetts. I spoke at length with Detective LeBlanc, and it's a story that we've heard in the newspapers and we've seen played out through the court system, and it's an inadequacy that we've seen happen here. So as a senator from the North Central region, I'm happy to stand here with Representative Evangelidis. As the chairman of Mental Health and Substance Abuse, I look forward to engaging the community of the mental illness situations, and so that we can start to talk about this. But remember, this is the first step. This legislation is going to be vetted through the process. It is going to have conversations with many individuals, including the district attorneys, law enforcement personnel, mental health consumer advocates, and that's why we stand here today. So I want to thank all of you, but more importantly, the law enforcement personnel that stand behind me.
Attorney, Worcester County, Joseph Burley. Joe has been a friend, a mentor to me. I have talked to him about this legislation. I valued his input, and I'm honored to have him here today. Attorney Joe Early.
I want to thank Rep. Evangelidis, Senator Flanagan, law enforcement, and everyone involved with regards to trying to make something better, trying to make government better out of this horrible tragedy. I'm encouraged by the dialogue, encouraged by things that we often see to help us overcome our frustrations as prosecutors. For example, as Rep. Evangelidis just mentioned, a longer commitment period before someone is eligible for a review in a mental health hospital. The field of mental health is changing daily. We have to keep the laws current, we have to keep them up to speed, constantly adapting as we learn more and more about mental health, illnesses, ways to treat it, ways to prevent it, and ultimately utilizing all of that to keep our community safe, our citizens safe, our police officers safe, and just making it better. That is good government. I'm proud to be standing here today with all those involved.
I'd like to call up Chief Sam Albert. Sam's been a friend of mine since I was elected to the legislature in 2002. He's a tremendous advocate for the Police Association as president of the Mass Central Police Chiefs Association, and he was a personal friend of Larry Jupin. And I'd like to have the Chief Albert be kind enough to come up and say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to begin by thanking Representative Evangelidis, Senator Flanagan, for their hard work and dedication in drafting and supporting this very important bill. We're fortunate to have this bill supported by the District Attorney's Office, Massachusetts Chiefs of Police Association, and many other police departments, associations, and unions, and some of them are here today. The proposed legislation to change Massachusetts' insanity defense laws refers to a plea that defendants are not guilty because they lack the mental capacity to realize that they committed wrong. The proposed legislation would replace it with guilty but insane. That bill would prevent a suspect from killing someone and then getting out of jail. This is not just about the tragedy that surrounded the Westminster Police Department and our community. This is an issue that is this law changed to benefit the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And again, I'd like to thank you all for being here and today in support of Larry Jupin and also in support of the Westminster Police Department. I'd like to especially thank Detective Ralph LeBlanc and the rest of the members of the police department who spearheaded this very important legislation.
I'm very pleased to have Detective LeBlanc. This is a very personal situation for him. It was his partner and a friend, and he's here today to tell you a little bit about what we're trying to accomplish. Thank you, Rob. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank all the people who have listened to my dilemma and my concerns. I appreciate State Representative Lewis Evangelidis for agreeing to support and take this bill to Beacon Hill seeking change. I am grateful to Senator Jennifer Flanagan for her support and willingness to be a part of this change. I appreciate the time and effort of lawmakers who have taken the time to meet with me and listen to my concerns on this. I am humbled by the thousands of people who supported me in my quest to change how the insanity defense is used in Massachusetts. And to all of you who took time out of your day today to be here showing your support. Thank you to all the unions and associations who are willing to publicly show their support on this matter. I appreciate District Attorney Joe Early for recognizing that this would be a useful law and he and his attorneys to use this in these type of cases. Thank you to Mascot President Hugh Cameron for their efforts and being here today also. The events that took place on May 10, 1999 and the years following were surreal. The loss of my friend and co-worker Larry Jupin was devastating to me in many ways. Larry was the officer who trained me to become a police officer and was a person that I looked forward to seeing daily at work. On a personal level, he was a friend who I spent many occasions talking with and have fond memories of an annual rafting trip that we went on. After Larry was critically wounded, slipped into a coma, and died from the complications sometime later, memories is all that I have left. He was the type of person that you could always count on. On that fateful night, Larry was coming to assist me, not because I asked. We never had to ask each other. It was out of concern and respect that we always helped each other out. He had no idea what might happen, and neither did I, when Jason Rivers came walking down Route 31 that night. Jason Rivers, wearing camouflage clothing, approached me while in a uniform with a fully marked police cruiser during a motor vehicle stop. He had been carrying a handgun illegally in his backpack, and he knowingly had warrants for his arrest. Jason Rivers had not been anywhere on the roadway moments earlier. For whatever reason there is, it was Jason Rivers who came out of the woods on that night. It was he who had stolen a poorly stored handgun from his father. He was the person that approached me and took a .357 from his backpack and fired at Larry and I. It was Jason Rivers who murdered Larry Jupin. If the reason that this happened is because Jason Rivers was mentally insane and is capable of doing these blatant actions to a person in the state of Massachusetts once, then it is very likely that such person would be capable of the behavior again, if not closely monitored in a secure state hospital. There is no psychologist or medicine that can prevent a mentally ill person from committing murder again if that person is not in a secure facility. The victims, their families, and the entire community deserves more to protect them when someone is capable of murder. We all deserve some type of assurance that a person capable of murder will be secure for some minimum length of time. 10 years of closely watched medical and psychological treatment in a secure facility is not unreasonable to ask. It is proper. This is not about a criminal killing a police officer in the line of duty. This is about protecting the citizens of Massachusetts and providing some assurance that a mentally insane person who commits murder will be closely watched over. Jason Rivers will not be affected by the change in the law. Though, the murder of my friend Larry Jupin can only be a lesson to society that the law needs to change. It needs to change to protect our citizens and to ensure that a mentally insane person will receive proper treatment that society has a right to expect. I want to thank everybody once again for coming out today and for showing their support.